Welcome to Fertility TV. So today is one of those really special videos where I share a hope story, a story of hope from one of the members of my Hope Fertility program. And these are some of my favorite episodes of Fertility TV because they're so inspiring and show you what is possible. Today, we're diving deep into the inspiring journey of one of the phenomenal program members. She's a doula, a personal trainer, and very attuned with her body, who needs help getting pregnant. She's still on her journey and wanted to bring you her story so you can see her progress. In just 3 months, the progress that she was able to make is amazing. And so in this video, I'm going to be touching on the frustration in feeling unheard and being forced to be your own fertility detective, which happens all the time. What does waiting for a year really mean to you and her? Unexplained infertility and being pushed onto meds and IVF as your only option, chemical pregnancy, and losing cravings, and much, much more. If you're new here, welcome to Fertility TV. This is the place for you to improve your fertility naturally, and I've been helping couples get pregnant for the last 20 years with my Hope Fertility program and physically here in San Diego at my clinic. Before we dive in, I want to make sure that you hit the subscribe button so that you can be notified when I put out more videos just like this, so that you can learn more about fertility, natural treatments, and what is possible for you. Now let's get listening.
Before the program, I was struggling a lot with trying to find doctors that would listen to me. I spent about a year trying to get pregnant, and the OB-GYN that I was with, she said, "Oh no, you're perfect. You're perfect. Your periods are normal. Everything's wonderful." And I said, if I'm like, first of all, there's no perfect. I don't know what that means, but
I agree.
If I am perfect, then why am I not pregnant?
Right.
She said, "Oh, it'll happen, and just let it go. Stop worrying."
I got to stop it right here. Okay. I hear this all the time. They just told me to stop worrying, to just relax. First of all, it's not so easy to do those things. It's not constructive feedback. It's not practical. What does it mean to just not worry and relax? If you are, let's just say predisposed to that, that's not easy. And obviously you're worrying because there's a reason. You have this female intuition that something's wrong. So why are you going to tell me not to worry or just relax? It will just happen. Okay. Let's have some practical tools. If you want someone to not worry and just relax, let's give them some tools that they can use to actually facilitate that and manage it, because you're not just going to stop all of a sudden. It's not like a light switch. And we need tools to help manage that when we get to that place in our mind where we are worrying and we are stressed and it's not so easy to just shut it off. So I want to be practical about that as well. And so this is really not a very practical recommendation.
Okay, she said she'd give me a referral in a year. And in that time, I asked her for blood work. I asked her to just look into my hormones, just make sure everything's okay. And she said, no, because you don't actually have any issues because you have a normal cycle. And so I have a cycle every 26 to 28 days, like clockwork. It's never been off. It's always very normal, no pain, no cramps even. So she said, everything's wonderful.
Okay, so there's a couple of things to point out here as well, is you all deserve blood work and deserve to know what your hormones are doing. If someone says, no, there's no reason for it, it means, no, I don't want to do it. No, I don't know what I'm looking for or how I'm going to help you. No, insurance won't cover it, so I'm not going to order it for you. That's what those things mean, okay? 2, she said, keep trying for a year. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that depending on your age. If you are over 35, then waiting a year might be a little too long, but under 35, a year is appropriate, and those are the guidelines we give to everybody. So we do want you to try. Now, she had been trying, though. That's the thing. She already had been trying, and she wasn't successful. So at that point, I do believe that it would have been more prudent and beneficial for her to get some more answers and to get some more information, which is what the blood work would have given her. And not to mention, I do believe she deserves it. You all deserve it. And actually, this in my book should be something that is part of your regular annual workup, should be testing and evaluating your hormones.
Fast forward about a year of me paying out of pocket for a lot of blood work on third-party sites,
right,
not really knowing how good their labs are and what their metrics are on things. I sort of got a picture for myself of some insulin resistance and some other issues, and brought those to her attention and asked her for like a glucose monitor. And what she said, no, your A1C is fine. I can't give you anything. I said, well, what can you do? Can you do anything? And I told her I was on vitamins and everything. She said, that's nice, but vitamins don't really do anything, of course.
I gotta stop here. First, I want to commend her. She's super proactive about her healthcare and her fertility, and she took ownership of the situation. She knew she needed more, and she went out and got what she needed, which is great. The hard thing is once you have that information, what do you do with it? If you don't know how to read it, what are you going to do? And if you do know how to read it, and it sounds like she was doing some research to figure that out, and you know what you need, she asked for a continuous glucose monitor, which is what she should have done when she saw her glucose levels severely fluctuating throughout the day. Then how are you going to get it if you can't get it prescribed? Again, you got to pay out of pocket for those sorts of things. So it becomes a frustrating situation.
So luckily, I had grown up in a very holistic family, and we had talked about cleanses and vitamins and seen chiropractors and had holistic nutritionalists in our life. So I dove back into that. I had already been, practicing my own things, yoga, meditation on the side, but not putting a huge amount of stock into it, thinking, well, maybe I am just fine and there's nothing wrong. So after 1.5 years, after she said 1 year would be that she'd send me, to someone. And when she said she was in a year going to help me, I thought she meant she would start diving into me close to home where I live, getting me blood work, getting me results.
Nope.
She actually just gave me finally a referral to a place that was a fertility specialist. So I said, okay, wonderful. And I go and they're just an IVF clinic.
Right.
And I was new to the experience, so I didn't realize that. And their idea was, oh yeah, we could do IVF. And I'm like, wait, that's not what I was asking for. Can we see what's going on with my body? And I think IVF is wonderful for women who are like ready to do that, ready to do everything they can. But I'm really sensitive in my body to a lot of allopathic medicines. So I really wasn't interested in taking drugs. They said they could give me Clomid. And I said, but I'm ovulating. And they said, no, you're not. You must not be ovulating. And so they were like, bless them. They were so wonderful actually at the IVF clinic that they said, if you're willing to pay for it, we can do monitored cycles for a few months and do some blood work.
So much here to kind of comment on and unpack. But one, it was already longer than 1.5 years because she already had been trying previously to going into her OBGYN. Her OBGYN at that point said, okay, now I'll refer you out. So then she refers her out instead of actually running labs and doing things. And I suspect it's because she just didn't have experience with fertility. She didn't know what she was doing. And so she should have said that from the beginning. Regardless, when you get sent to a fertility clinic, it's not usually to figure out what's wrong. It's usually to do IVF. And again, just like she said, nothing wrong with it. But we really want answers before we move forward with that. And to her credit, so did she, which is awesome. And to her clinics, her fertility clinics credit, they were willing to support her to help her monitor her cycles and figure things out, or hopefully try to figure things out before they pushed her to anything else. Not all clinics will do that. So I'm I'm really happy that she was able to get that.
All my genetic testing, all my blood work.
Good.
Without the promise of getting to do IVF with me.
Okay.
And we did monitored cycles, and they did prove that I was ovulating.
Awesome. I have to comment. Yes, they wanted to give her Clomid. And again, to her credit, she recognizes that Clomid is primarily used to help you induce ovulation. If she's already ovulating, why is that going to help? Now, what it can do is it can increase the amount of follicles or eggs that you release to give you a better odds during an IUI or during a cycle. So that can be beneficial, but she didn't really want that. So she got monitored and she found out that she was ovulating.
It just looks like I wasn't maybe my egg quality. There's no real way for them to check that. All of my levels looked okay.
That was just a guess, by the way. Egg quality was a guess. They're just throwing that out there because they had nothing else to say. And that is also super common to see.
But basically, at that point, I found the FertilityTV on YouTube. And I started just spending every single day watching this and kept hearing people say, oh, your doctor says they're going to help you, but they just send you to an IVF clinic. And I'm like, oh, okay, other people have experienced this too.
Lots.
So I got really hopeful and said there must be something underlying, because it's not perfect to not be getting pregnant. There's some unexplained infertility. And so I found that video from Dr. Marc Sklar that said, unexplained infertility and what could be going on, and just kept looking in, and finally was directed. I had one doctor out here who said, well, maybe you have a phenotype of PCOS. And I said, I don't fit any of this criteria. That's ridiculous. And then watching Marc's videos, I came back to her like, okay, like we could look into this.
There are, by the way, I should comment here, I don't believe in unexplained infertility. I do believe there's a cause. And on the PCOS comment here is there are different types of PCOS, and there could be variations where you don't have the classical presentation that someone would present with in a textbook, but it doesn't mean you don't have that.
Describe me some of the same things that I'd seen on his videos, taking like choline and inositol, which I had done prior just for like weight loss and other things. And so it all added up, and I thought, okay, I think all these people are on the right track. And she said, she wanted to basically just put me on metformin and see how it goes. So I kind of dropped her and started focusing on Marc. And at that point, I decided to become a participant in the program.
I should comment real briefly. Nothing wrong with metformin, but I do think there's a lot of other ways you can support blood sugar with a similar action as metformin without as many side effects. So that's really, if you're going to go that route, that would be something that I would consider.
It's been almost 3 months. He put me on these diets that I thought I had done before in my life. And I looked at them and I said, no, I'm super healthy. I'm really holistic. I already avoid these things. But the combinations of everything he expressed finally got me into a full detox that honestly, I think if I hadn't paid to be a part of a program and get the support, I wouldn't have gotten, because I am just someone who I'm super independent, super on my own. I feel like I'm in the holistic medical field. I'm a neuromuscular integrator. I do personal fitness. I do all kinds of stuff in between, and I'm a doula. So I think to myself, well, you know how this all works, but it's the support that really changes everything. Without watching the other women on the Facebook group going through things, saying, you got this, I did it. Every time someone would say, I just finished my 2-week cleanse, I'd say, oh my gosh, you can do it. I can do it. I'll get through it.
Support is everything. And the ongoing support that she gets in the program by all the members and by my team really, really makes a difference, not just for her, but for everybody. And I hear this all the time. I've done a detox. I eat healthy. I don't need to do those things. If we're closed-minded to that and to the potential that there could be something more or a different way to do it to achieve results, then we're never going to move forward. To her credit, she recognized that maybe this is different and I should do that. Just because you eat healthy doesn't mean that you eat right for you. Just because you know healthcare doesn't mean you can manage your own healthcare. It's very different. And getting the support, getting the constant guidance is essential for someone's success. And that's what she figured out as well, on this process.
For the first time in my life, I officially finished a 2-week cleanse without breaking.
Because she hadn't before.
All kinds of trigger foods that I liked. And I have always struggled with being really, really interested in sugar, salts, and fats. It's just something I love. After I fully adhered to Marc's program, I actually lost craving for all these foods. So we own an organic coffee cart at the farmer's market, and I haven't drank coffee in 4 months now.
Oh my Lord.
Which is wild.
I did not know that.
He's got me on an AIP diet, and I've noticed so many things where I used to get flush.
AIP, autoimmune paleo diet, which can make a big difference. In her case, that's what she needed.
After anything I ate, and never really knew what was going on. Some allergists said maybe you have a mast cell disorder. Some other people said maybe you have histamine issues. Who knows what's going on?
Similar. Those are similar, by the way.
With this diet, I don't get any of those symptoms, inflammation, anything really, and I have more energy. So
her progress is amazing because she committed to it and she decided finally that she was going to make it happen, and she got the support to make it happen and be successful with it.
This is where I'm supposed to be, what I'm supposed to be following. And then fast forward to this last month, over Christmas. Unfortunate, we had a chemical pregnancy, so like a very early miscarriage. But what was really exciting about that through all of the hardship of it was that was 3 months after we had started the protocol with Dr. Marc, and 1 week into my personalized protocol that he sent me over email.
So I should comment about this. When someone joins the program, they don't get a personalized plan in the beginning. They have to follow a certain process that I have laid out that I have found to be successful, which is what she was doing in the beginning. Then once we had all her information, we created a personalized plan. So all the progress that she's actually achieved is not even from her personalized plan. It's from the method, the HOPE method that I've created. Now she's in her personalized plan.
And so just to see in 3 months that we had conception was enough for me to think, hey, maybe my egg quality was a little compromised from some of my autoimmune issues. And now he's looking at the source and the root problem of my autoimmune system and supporting that. And with that support, we were able to get a positive pregnancy test, which even though it was fleeting and it went by quickly, it still is a huge fertility win for us. And we know that this is the right path and my body is capable of getting pregnant and my fertility is not so unexplained. It just hadn't been looked at holistically and with so much care that I was able to get from Dr. Marc and the team. So
healthcare, fertility is comprehensive. It's integrative. It needs to be individualized. And that's what she was getting that allowed her to get to this point. Has she reached her final goal of a healthy pregnancy and baby? Not yet. But she's well on her way and she recognizes that. And she has plenty of signs and symptoms that tell her she's moving in the right direction. And this is not only possible for her, it's possible for all of you as well. So now it's your time. What if you could be our next success story, your next success story? If you're ready to get a personalized fertility coaching plan, head to marksklar.com/discovery call to speak to a real human on my team so we can identify if having me as your fertility coach is the right next step on your fertility journey. Until that happens and until I can develop that for all of you, then I want to leave you with some additional success stories, some more stories of hope to help you grow your hope on your fertility journey. All right, everyone, until the next episode, stay fertile.